Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I am going to put on this share and I'm going to start our presentation this morning. Our presentation, it's really, I want this to be a discussion. So I'll encourage participation from, our group here. We're small. It looks like there's only 4 of us, including myself. It's interesting. My name is Dan Cullen. I'm a visiting professor here at the University of the Virgin Islands in the education department, specifically the early childhood education, inclusive education department, and special education. Those are my 2 areas of expertise. And I was, we were reached out to by Ms. Towell, and she asked if there would be any participation regarding this very timely and relevant topic. And as a parent, I have 2 small children, 10-year-old Brody and a 6-year-old Caden, 2 boys. And Brody's in 5th grade, Caden's in 1st grade. I'm coming live from northeastern New Jersey. So I'm totally working for the university remotely this semester. And this is a real honor and a privilege to be here with our group today, talking about this very timely topic. Just a brief background. I've been in education in the field for 18 years. I do have a doctorate in educational leadership, and I have an advanced degree specifically in special education. And I've studied, I've worked in schools, I've worked as a teacher, I worked as a building principal, I've served in a variety of capacities in the public school system in New Jersey. And it's interesting because, being a parent and working, having worked for in public education, it's been I thought when I started teaching special education, as a young man in my very early 20s, prior to having children, I thought I understood children, and then I had my own. Okay, and then all bets are off. When you have your own, and all the schooling and all the training and all that goes out the window because you're a parent and that's your child, and things just change drastically. We're in such a changing world and changing times. And I just want to bring normalcy to the conversation. I want to bring hope to the conversation. And I want to bring love and kindness to the conversation. Because these attributes, these factors, these contributors that are just framed, they'll really become guiding lights for us. And continue to sustain us through these times. Parenting during a pandemic is the title of this conversation. And it is one of the most unique and surreal experiences I think we've ever endured. At least from a standpoint of a parent trying to educate their child. And I know I understand the context. In which to create context, there's circumstances that happen that sometimes are way out of our control. And I can't stay here in my space and say, I know what it's like to have been through a natural disaster like a hurricane, or if I've experienced 9/11, which was another monstrosity of catastrophic proportions in my lifetime. I did that, in the realm of how it applied to parenting and raising children. But this pandemic that's taken, a normal everyday life and created boundaries and obstacles and learning situations and differences, and has made us totally rethink what parenting is like. And how do we move forward? How do we still help our children find success in school? How do we still keep our sanity? how do we keep our family united and together? And I know in this space, I know I'm with families, I know I'm with parents that are doing this. And I just, I look to you as experts as well, because we've been challenged before in different arenas. And right now we're in the middle of a challenge. And it's just relying on past experience, but also creating space for new experiences to help create a pathway for us as we move forward. That's creating a sense of togetherness for our family. I love this. Other things may change us, but we start and end with the family. We thought that was a beautiful quote that really kind of sums up the spirit and the heart of this talk. It starts and ends with love. And with parents here, with family and love, just remember these are not normal times. Love your family, love our family, and sometimes that means, so many different things. Just last night, I can't believe I'm sharing this, but everything broke down. All social norms and barriers just broke down at dinner. My children were sharing frustration from the day of online learning. The one computer-driven assignment didn't match up with the actual questions and answers that my older son Brody was supposed to do in science. And my wife worked on that assignment with him for about 3 hours, and they got nowhere because it was the wrong. There was a misfire between the actual assignment itself and then the questions. They were two different things. And the teacher unintentionally, I called the teacher, we talked, unintentionally just, I clicked on the button to assign the work. And she said, "Oh, Dan, I didn't look at it. I should have read it." And she felt horrible. But, it's just reminding ourselves that, that, hey, we're going to be in these experiences, but how do we make it better? So my challenge, my intentional, empathetic, and kind challenge to the teacher is next time, just review the two. That way it would mitigate frustration with families and tension in the home. And she understood. And she actually brought that solution to me as a parent, and we talked it through. And today I already received information from her that she was looking at, another assignment and found the similar issue, and they were able to correct it. I look at these things and it's like, who would have ever thought we'd be in a position where we're collaborating with teachers to figure out what assignments are going to be on the online learning space. It's really mind-boggling in regards to how we're asked to move forward. But last night at dinner, in the heat of it, with my 10-year-old Brody getting really upset and my wife demonstrating, her frustration, I just reminded myself, and even my thoughts were prepared for this conversation. Just these aren't normal times. I said to my wife, I held her hand. I said, "Alicia, this isn't normal for us. This isn't what we know. Let's just come together as a family." It's like pausing in that moment, putting a bookmark in time, pulling out of it, and then having a discussion separate from the issue that's got everybody so upset. Remember, these aren't normal times. Love your family. The fuel, the energy, the drive to put the bookmark, to pull us out of that really intense situation, I believe comes from the wellspring of love. It comes up, it boils up inside, and it's just remembering these are the people that I love the most here in this world. All these other things are just things. They're assignments. Yes, they're very important. They're things. But at the end of the day, it's the family, it's the children, it's my wife, it's us being together. So the bookmark, talk about it not being normal, and then stepping away from that situation. Step away. And then in that space, channeling the energy, then you can step back in. Then you can step back in with a refocus and a new energy to either call the teacher, email the teacher, to put things down, put it aside and say, okay, I'm going to turn the page. What's the next assignment? What's the next thing I can do? And then move forward. And sometimes for a parent, I don't know, I love steak. I'm a steak guy. I love a good filet mignon. I do. My kids hate it. They don't want steak. They don't want filet. They don't want any of that. They want pizza. I'm just being real. They want They want the sauce. They want the pepperoni. They want it all. They want the big pizza. They want the pizza. Man, I'm flat. I want the. Sometimes it just means, you know what? It's pizza night. All bets are off. We're just gonna eat pizza. You know, a colleague said, I quote him. This is best. You know, sometimes it's okay to eat ice cream for dinner. You know, sometimes we just need a break as a family in these times. Sometimes we just need something to pull us together. And it's okay to eat pizza instead of the steak. It's okay to eat ice cream for dinner instead of the dinner. It's okay to eat dessert first. It's okay in these challenging times. And as parents, as moms and dads, if I have any dads on the call, if moms, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a portrait of perfection. It's okay to pull back and say, okay, let's channel the energy and talk about something else. Let's change it up here. And then step back in with a renewed energy. It's all okay. Another key component, take care of yourself. So I've got moms here, dads. It's okay to take care of yourself. Do this by organizing your day. Provide daily time for you. Folks, I get up early and I do it intentionally. I go to bed a little earlier, and sometimes we don't have the ability to do that. But in the morning, the first thing that I do when I wake up is, before I do anything else, I go outside. I bring a cup of coffee and I take a breath. I breathe in the air and I let the air breathe out. And I realize that every new breath is a new opportunity to create the day that I'm supposed to have. John Wooden said, make every day your masterpiece. And I think about that in the morning. How am I going to make today my masterpiece? How am I going to do well today? How at the end of the day, when I'm tired and I'm frustrated and all things broke loose and it just turned into a crazy day, what did I do today to make it good? And take that time for you. Take that time to think. Maybe in the morning it's too hectic. Maybe there's so much going on. At some point in your day, organize it in a way that provides 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes for you to focus on you, for you to focus on what you need in order to continue to run the marathon. What do you need? Taking care of yourself. What do you do in the middle of strife, in the middle of the battle, in the middle of the push, the pull, the yes, the no, the changing times, the frustrations with school? My children aren't learning, that they're not getting what they need. I ask them to do all these things around the house. They don't contribute. We're very frustrated as a family. I've got to work. I've got multiple jobs that I'm holding down. I don't have the time for that. How do I? A strategy I can share, a blueprint, a roadmap to conflict resolution in the middle of difficult times. The LEAP model: listen, empathize, agree, and plan. Take a moment. These moments are so important, folks. I can't say it enough. They're so important. Listen. Just take a moment, listen, and hear what is being said. Listen and hear what is being said. Emphasize. Put yourself in the shoes of others. So you listen to the problem. Understand what the problem is. Put yourself in the shoes of others. Understand where they're coming from. My youngest turned around and said today, he said, Dad, he said, you know, I don't want to go online. I don't want to do it today. I don't. And I put myself in his shoes. He's 6 years old. He's in first grade. All he's ever known is going to school, drinking chocolate milk, you know, sitting at a table that he can't even put his feet down to the ground in the cafeteria. All he wants to do is just go, and he's home. So What do we need to do? How can we, I emphasize, I get it. I understand. Let's pretend, let's do show and tell. Let's do something. Let's plan an activity after school that we can do today. Really trying to create that bridge, that empathy bridge. And then agreeing, Caden, you give me 30 minutes this morning on the online, on the Zoom. I'll make a deal. I'll touch base with your teacher. I'll give you 30 minutes. First grade, blocks of time, chunking things. I'll give you 30 minutes of playtime. But you got to come back. I'll put you on a clock. Use a timer. Put him concrete timer. He's good to go. He's down there on his break right now. Plan. Make a plan. Stick with it. Don't change it. Don't deviate it unless you absolutely have to. But if you promise the 30 minutes of work and you get the 30 minutes of play, stick to it. But those are things. These are 4 strategies that combine for our blueprint. Listen, empathize, agree, and plan. And I hear myself say at the end, just leap. Leap with him. Leap. Listen to him. Listen and empathize. And sometimes it's all it takes. You don't even have to go to agree and plan because you got him back. You got your kid back. They're right there because they know how much you love them. And they know that you're empathetically there. And then you can put in those other pieces with the agree and the plan. Take care of yourself. Again, I have it up here. Now I have it capitalized. Weekly tag out and do something for you rather than just more than just those moments, those time, that 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to half an hour. Once a week, unplug if you can. If you have a drive home, go a different way. Stop by a place that you enjoy. Get that coffee. Stop the car, go for that walk. Breathe in that fresh air. If you're a beach person, take off your shoes or flip-flop, walk in the ocean. Take that time for you. Take that time for you. And because that's going to give you energy to be there for them. If you're not taking care of yourself, we're not going to go the marathon. We're not going to go the distance. Take time for you. Take time for you. And talk to your spouses about that. Your partners, your significant others. Talk to them. Come up with leap with them. Listen to them. Empathize, agree, and make a plan with them. So that way they get time too. And you both do. And it's mutual. And it's shared time. Because you need that time. So let me throw this out there to close. We've got a couple minutes left. What are some things that you can do? Those of us on the call, that you can do right now, today, to take care of you. And what are things that you do? What are things you already do? Anybody want to share?
Well, this is Mary Myers. For me, I can take like walks around the neighborhood and also try to like doodle or attempt to draw.
Mary, that's excellent. Yeah, it's something. Listen, something so simplistic but so meaningful. Meaningful. I love the walk, the drawing. There's research behind drawing, Mary. It's linked to a therapeutic mindset. That drawing and walking actually create wonderful tones of serotonin and epinephrine. They're chemicals in our brain that bring us joy, happiness, and peace. So doing those activities, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to take a risk and just share, or share about anything maybe you were looking to get from this conversation? Ask any questions. Well, listen, if anything comes up and you have any questions, or you want follow through, or you want some more information, here's my email. Okay. Please write down my email and do not, oh, I'm going to keep it right here. Please write down my email and do not hesitate to shoot me an email and let me know if there's any strategies or any specific information you're looking for in regards to how to do this, how to parent during these times. I don't consider myself an expert at all. I consider myself a parent, and in the words of a wonderful mentor, said, hey, it's okay to fail forward as long as you're moving forward. So, hey, I don't do this perfectly. I don't even pretend to. I'm not even close. All right. But we're all in this together as moms and dads. We truly are. And whatever I can do to help support a fellow parent, I will do it with all my heart. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm going to present again this afternoon at 1 o'clock. If anybody wants to come back, please feel free to do so if you have any questions. If not, please don't hesitate to email me.